America, to me, you are the land of the free, home of the brave and the bold. Revolution and democracy, the one true superpower. Over us you truly tower, in the grip of your intentions and embracing your inventions. Mickey Mouse and apple pie and Marilyn Monroe, New York, LA, Washington, Chicago, San Francisco, Muhammad Ali, Motown, Madonna, Marlon Brando, New Mexico, Ohio, Colorado, Idaho, Hollywood, Mount Rushmore, Pentagon, Empire State, Silicon Valley, Statue of Liberty, Guggenheim, Golden Gate, Prairie Dog and Rattlesnake, Bison, Elk Raccoon, Rocky Mountains and Great Plains, Death Valley, Blue Bayou, Billy the Kid, Bonnie and Clyde, Dillinger, El Capone, Annie Hall, Citizen Kane, Casablanca, Home Alone, John Steinbeck, Stephen Sondheim, Cole Porter, Stephen King, Harper Lee, Roy Lichtenstein, Warhol, Irving Berlin, Pizza, Peanut Butter Cups, Pumpkin Pie, French Fries, Charlie's Angels, Mad Men, Breaking Bad, Miami Vice, Apple, Windows, Facebook, Twitter, Google, Yahoo, eBay, New York Times, Vogue, Village Voice, USA Today, Beyonce, Lady Gaga, Patti Smith and Joni Mitchell, Steven Spielberg, Coppola, Scorsese, Orson Welles, Homer Simpson, Dr. Strange and Huckleberry Finn, Wonder Woman, Donald Duck, SpongeBob, Batman, Robin, FDR and IBM, NASCAR, NBA, Barack Obama, Donald, Ronald, George and JFK, NFL and NBS, NASDAQ, CIA, Oprah, Whoopi, Dr. Phil, Joan Rivers, Ricky Lake, RuPaul, Miss Bunny, Bob the Drag Queen, Shangela Divine, Henry Ford, Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs and Frank Lloyd Wright, F. Scott Fitzgerald, J. Paul Getty, J-Lo and Jay-Z, J. Edgar Hoover, John D. Rockefeller and Ice-T, Martin Luther King and Alexander Graham Bell, Ellington and Coltrane, Whitman, Chandler, Melville, Jackson Pollock, Martha Graham, Edgar Allan Poe, Yellowstone and Wall Street, Alcatraz, the Alamo. These all are but a fraction of all that makes you strong. Iconic places, famous faces, which to you belong. Etched into our hearts and minds in image, story, song. One reason why the huddled masses to your shore still throng. We watch you from afar, the gleaming global superstar, driven, dazzled by your dreams, preoccupations, tropes and memes. Shangri-La, Atlantis, El Dorado, Xanadu. It seems there's nothing you can't do, and we're all in love with you. You sing a song, seductive, and tell a tempting tale, that with sufficient self-belief no one can ever fail. You still shine a light for all those struggling to be free. Your founding fathers' words resound, give me death or liberty. Your pull and presence mighty, how it resonates. Far beyond the shores of your celebrated states, a siren song around the world, what ripples it creates. But if we continue to succumb, we're bound for desperate straits. America, to me, you show that where there's light, there's shadow. We see your glittering face, but there's a darkness just below. I pray in time this wounded part of you you'll one day know. And until then, despite your charms, your lead I would not follow. So many crimes against the tribes, Mohican, Navajo, Comanche, Mohawk, Pawnee, Cherokee and Seminole, Apache and Lakota, Sioux, Choctaw and Pueblo, Shoshone, Blackfoot, Choctaw, Iroquois, Arapaho. 10,000 years and more of history soon undone. In wars of dispossession, bows and arrows can't match guns. Despite brave leaders, Crazy Horse, Geronimo, Red Cloud, the continent was conquered, cattle roamed and land was plowed. So much manifest, bad faith shown in those destined years. Promises made and soon forgot led to the trail of tears. But all the way resistance, little bighorn, wounded knee, and the pain lives on America, your bedrock and your legacy. People exiled from their lands to arid reservations, stolen children sent to schools for white man's education, culture, language stolen in ongoing desecration of traditions over centuries of strong and proud First Nations. And that was just the start indeed, for as you slew the braves, you grew strong and prospered on the suffering of slaves. How many died along the way on sad and stormy seas, tossed overboard in chains before succumbing to disease. And when they reached your coasts, how many sold upon the block to those who worshipped Jesus, but whose hearts were hard as rock, who worked the men to death and raped the women with impunity. Those good old righteous Southern boys, such pillars of community. These were men prepared to fight and die for human servitude, to wage uncivil war in proud defense of moral certitude. And though they lost the war and slavery ended, who could know another form of bondage soon would follow? Meet Jim Crow, separate but equal, the legal explanation, though any fool could see who suffered from the segregation. But ears of southern fruit and crosses blazing in the dark could not endure forever. Rosa Parks would light the spark. That was 1955, but that struggle's still alive. Many children of those stolen slaves still struggling to survive. Years of marches, protests, riots, boycotts, demonstrations. But here and now, do black lives really matter to the nation? As you brought First Nations and Africans to their knees, you grew in strength and over time, ambitious overseas. But not before your lust for power and conquest you would show. In California, Texas, Arizona and New Mexico, Pax Americana is not available to all. You underwrite the tyrants rise and oversee the despots fall. Chile, El Salvador, Iraq, Afghanistan, Cambodia, Panama, Cuba, Vietnam. Even now it's not just other countries you oppress. Increasingly a prison state by misuse of due process. Free enterprise in you has found its truest, safest home. Yet every year reveals how inequality has grown. You framed the laws to start a war that never could be won, and fueled the rise of cruel cartels with all that you've begun. You're hooked on medications, but you demonize drug users. Yet everyone who would own a gun can do just what he chooses. How could you choose that president, a vain, malicious child, who wouldn't rest till all that could be good had been defiled? Your leadership shows little sign of wisdom, mercy, foresight. Your politics are polarized. There's no sign of respite. The whitewash of the past cannot erase the painful stain of death and dispossession, no matter what the gain. History lives encoded in a nation's DNA, and great wrong until addressed will linger on, not fade away. So many ways, both old and new, you shock, repel, offend. Yet despite your flaws, your unjust laws I can't pretend. Your time is past and you have lost your mythical allure. Yes, I have been infected. For me there is no cure. Seductive yet repulsive, O bloated beast of Babylon, behemoth compelling. We'll laugh and weep when you are gone. So many of our choices are the choices you have made. Existing in your brilliant shade, we lust for you but are afraid. So America, to me, are you the land of the free, home of the brave and the bold? Revolution and democracy, so many of our choices are the choices you have made. Existing in your brilliant shade, we lust for you, but we're afraid. We're afraid. We're